My screen. Oh, I taught yesterday to my teacher training. So I'm in advanced yoga teacher training, and I taught a class and I got to choose music. It was so wonderful. I'm sad today, but it's okay. All right, so let's start seated if you're not already there. Cross-legged if that works for you. And let's close our eyes or cast the eyes downward. Place the palms open on top of the knees. And just notice the parts of you that are grounded in your mat. So your sits bones, your flesh around your sits bones, the sides of your feet, maybe your ankles, maybe you have parts of your upper and lower legs that are touching the mat, just noticing. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. Allowing that breath to fill the entire torso. So first thinking about up and down, allowing the breath to move all the way down to the pelvic floor and up underneath the shoulders. And then as you exhale, they come slightly back towards each other. And maybe notice a slight engagement of the pelvic floor, like you're lifting the bottom parts of your torso up and in towards your belly button. And then start to notice the movement side to side. So both in your rib cage and in your belly area. Notice it moving out in all directions. And then start to move, notice the front and back. So up and down, side to side, front and back. Feeling the breath deepen as the body widens, and then letting the breath go. And then maybe on your next couple inhales, trying to breathe in something that you need from this world. Maybe it's abundance, maybe it's patience, maybe it's forgiveness, maybe it's peace. And then on the exhale, just letting everything go that you don't need anymore. We try to stop hanging on to all the things that are no longer serving us. Inhaling what you need, exhaling, letting go. Inhaling what you need, exhaling, letting go. And then you can keep your eyes closed if you want. And then just gently drop your chin towards your chest, maybe on an exhale, but if not, that's okay. Try to keep the rest of your spine long. So sitting tall, but chest dropped towards chin. And then if you don't feel a stretch yet, or you want a little bit more, you can take 2 fingers and place them on the back of the head and just gently let the weight of your arms pull the head down a little bit more. Keep breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. And you can always choose to do a sigh out through the mouth if you just need to let a little extra go. If you have the fingers on your head, go ahead and release, palms back to knees, and then just gently rock the right ear towards the right shoulder, a little quarter circle. Pause there, pressing the opposite shoulder down, getting a little stretch through the neck. And then gently, ever so slowly, bring the chin down towards the collarbone so that if your eyes were open, you would be kind of gazing at your shoulder or armpit. And then gently extend your left arm out to the side to increase the stretch, or extend the stretch down the arm. One more breath. Bring the hand back in when you feel ready. Bring the chin back up so that your gaze is level. And then allow the head to rock down so the chin comes down towards the chest. Again, if it feels safe for you, you can keep the eyes closed. When you're ready, rock the head towards the left, so the left ear is trying to reach the left shoulder. Pressing gently with the strength of the body, the right shoulder down. Take a breath or two here. And then tilt the head so the chin comes down towards the collarbone. And then if you want that extra stretch, go ahead and reach the right arm out to the side. You can be up on fingertips. A few breaths. And then bring that arm back in. Gently tilt the chin up. And then you can decide to just bring the chin back, or you can add a little bit of movement. So just half circles from the right ear to the left ear, hovering over the shoulder. Moving a little bit faster, so we're not really stretching. We're going for a little bit of mobility here. Just feeling how our neck feels different. And then eventually chin comes into chest and gently roll up. Lean back into the hands, reach the legs long, shake them out. Bend the knees, plant the feet, and rock the hips side to side. So you can go slow, you can go fast. If you find a spot where you're like, oh, I need to relax there for a moment, then take a breath there. When you rock the knees to the right, the left hip can lift really high. That's totally fine. We don't have to stay grounded in both sides when we do this. And then come back to center. Extend the legs one more time. And then come back and cross the legs the opposite way than you normally do. So like my right leg is usually in front. So I'm going to put my left leg in front. Sit tall. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and give yourself a big hug. Notice which hand is on the front. Or sorry, which elbow is on top. And then if you have space to do so, maybe just twist a little one direction. This is for you mid-back people. Mid-back is a hard place to get to. Twist to the other side. Twist to the first side. Twist to the second side. Unhug, shake it out. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, put the other arm on top. Nice little hug. Try to reach your, it's like you're trying to grab your shoulder blades behind your body. And then twist one direction, and then to the other, and then back, and then last one, and shake it out. And we're going to come right over onto hands and knees. But you might want to face the long way on your mat. So you guys can turn whichever way makes sense for you. I'm going to take my socks off because we're going to do something where we want our feet not to slip on our mats. So before we head there, maybe just a couple cat-cows. So bring the belly down towards the mat on the inhale, chin and tailbone lift. Exhale, tuck into the cat, pulling the belly button up to the spine. Breathing, moving at your own pace. Okay, I think was it last week that we did gate pose? So we're gonna do something similar. I actually learned this for the first time ever yesterday. So we're gonna keep hands down. We're in table now, so come back to your neutral table. And we're gonna extend the right leg out like we're going to gate pose, but we're gonna keep the hands down the whole time. So heel is in line with knee. We're just gonna pause for a moment. So I'm sore. So my inner thigh already feels the stretch, but if your inner thigh doesn't, you do have the option of like heel toeing a little bit wider and then scooting the arms. So your hip won't be stacked over the knee. And then if that feels terrible because of your knee, you can go back. But that's an option just to get a little bit wider. And then here's another option, not necessary to take it. You can just test it. Your right arm might come down to the forearm, and then maybe your left will follow. Feel it? Huh? I feel it. Yeah, right? So someone called this half frog. Do you guys know what frog pose is? Where your knees are wide and your feet are like straight behind. So you can drape your head, relax your neck. Take a few breaths. And then probably the left hand is easiest to bring back first. So left hand underneath shoulder, push, right hand comes back. If you did widen, we're gonna go back. So shift so that your hip is on top of your knee. Heel toe or glide that foot back so that you are in a more stable spot. And then we're gonna take the left hand, inhale, and then reach underneath, and we're gonna do like thread the needle. So shoulder and head come down. And then maybe you want to extend this right arm above the head. So someone yesterday called this sundial, which I think is appropriate. It does kind of look like a sundial. So I liked this actually better than thread the needle because I feel like I have more space to twist. But you can tell me your judgment of it later. Bring that right hand back in front of your face. Press into it to come back up. And then bring that leg back in. Maybe shake the tail Side to side. Oh my gosh, I'm so sore. Everything hurts in my body. So I have no idea how you guys are feeling. Yeah, you can report back to me tomorrow. We did like 3.5 hours of physical practice yesterday. I have not done that much physical practice in a long time. So left leg extends. It's hard to see my left leg on the computer, sorry. So left leg extends out. Heel is in line with knee. And then once again, option to kind of heel toe that foot out a little bit. And then if you do that, you probably want to walk your hands over to the left so that your hands are right underneath your shoulders. Take a breath, just feel how that feels. We'll let the train go by. And then probably right hand has more freedom to move first down to the forearm. And then left. Oh, sorry, I said that backwards, but whichever feels okay for you. And then maybe you're feeling this. You can play with rocking forward and back. I would do it slowly. And if you hate that, you can just be still. If you like it, you can continue to rock. Don't forget the breath. Especially when we do something new, we forget to breathe. So take a couple deep breaths here. And let me say it correctly, left hand probably has more freedom to come back and push up, and then right hand follows. If you took that wide stance, move the hands back, heel toe the foot back so that your right hip is over your right knee. And then left arm, right arm, right arm, this one, towards the train. Reaches up and under, head and shoulder, come down. And then maybe the left hand extends over the head. Your gaze is underneath the arm. And then bring the left hand back in front of the face, push into the left hand, bring it back up, bring that leg back in, and shake out the tail. And then if you turned long way on your mat, you probably want to turn back the other way so that you are the normal way on your mat. We're going to extend the right leg behind us, tuck the toes, plant the toes, and then push back into the heel. Breathing deeply. If your wrists are bothering you, you can come to fists. Come out of that and then lift the right leg, bend the knee, and circle the knee in big circles. So if you really want to, you can put this knee down, go into down dog, and do the same thing in down dog. Circle the knee the other direction. So hip mobility here. And then set it down. Maybe take the knees wide, toes together, and sit back for a child's pose. Resting here. So maybe you want to play with the shoulders a little bit, pressing one shoulder down towards the mat and letting the other one lift. And then going to the other side, just to get a little bit more stretch through the back, stretch through the shoulder. Maybe you feel it in your arm. In your next inhale, come up. Bring the knees back under the hips if you widened the knees. Extend the left leg behind you, tuck the toes. And then press back through the heel. You might feel your hips shift a little bit. That is okay. That's what we want. Getting into whatever part of the back body is the tightest. Breathing deeply, coming back to whatever it is that you need more of. Trying to breathe that into your body and using the exhale to let go. Shift forward, back to table, lift the back leg, bend the knee, and then circle the knee one direction. Again, option to do this in down dog. Circle the knee the opposite direction. And then bring it down. And then your choice to keep the knees narrow or to widen the knees into a child's pose. Knees narrow lengthens the low back a little bit more. Knees wide allows the shoulders and chest and head to descend a little bit more. To your choice. On your next inhale, lift the gaze, walk the hands over to the right, and then drape. Your head might not come all the way down, which is okay. But just feel that side stretch in the body. You might feel a little compression in the hip flexor. Compression is okay, but pain is not. So just remain aware of your body. Your body is your number one teacher. My voice comes second. So listen to what your body is telling you to do and not to do. Lift the gaze, shoulders and head, just enough to walk the hands all the way over to the left and drape. Inhale, lift the gaze, walk the hands back, child's pose. Take about 4 breaths there. You can choose to bend the elbows and bring the hands closer to the head to relax the elbows. You can take the arms back so the hands are by the ankles, wrapping around yourself. And then when you're ready, inhale, come up. If you have the knees wide, you probably want to move the knees together and then shift off to one side and come back to a seated position. So our hips are warm-ish. So just be gentle with the next thing we're going to do. You're going to take the right leg and make the middle of your shin like in front of the middle of your pelvis. And then your shin should be parallel with the front of your mat. So it should line up with the front of your mat and probably flex that foot. And then this leg, if possible, is gonna bend. You're gonna use your hands to place the ankle on top of the knee. And then you might need to just cradle this knee, or you might be able to allow this knee to descend a little bit. I always have to adjust my sits bones once I'm there. So this is fire log pose. It's intense for the hip. And if this leg isn't gonna make it up, you can set it here and encourage the knee to descend, or you can bring it up and just cradle this as much as you need to with both hands. So I just want you should feel it in your left hip. So whatever modifications you're making. And then maybe if this is like, oh, this is easy. So if you're not feeling that way, ignore what I'm gonna say. You might wanna inhale and exhale, forward fold, any amount. But that's not where most of us are. So pick your poison. Do not push your body past where it wants to go today. It might be in a different spot next week. Three more breaths. You can get through anything. You are strong. You are powerful. Use your hands to help lift this knee up. You can even like kind of shift off that hip a little bit. Move that leg off. Stretch it out, stretch the other one out, shake it out. You asked for hips. We'll do a nicer hip thing. This is just, you know, testing where we are today. So other leg on bottom. So it's probably your left leg if you follow my cues. And if not, that's okay. Just make sure it's the other leg. Middle of your shin lines up with your pelvic bone. And then I like to bend this one, and then hands help the ankle on top of this knee. And then if you need to shift, notice if you have space and you want a little bit more, maybe forward fold. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears, whether your spine is straight or folding. Breathe. Take one more breath here. Maybe help this right knee lift, and then use the hands to take that leg off, lean back, extend both legs, shake it out. So you can do pigeon if you like pigeon better, but I'm gonna talk us through figure 4 on our backs. So if pigeon is your choice, feel free to stay seated and I'll get back to you. But if you want to do figure 4 on your back instead, go ahead and pull the knees in. You can hang on to the backs of the thighs, or you can extend the arms and do a little extra core, and then roll down. So we'll start with the right leg crossing over the left. If you want to do any little motions on your back before you go into figure 4, that's fine. Once you have the right leg crossed over, keep that right foot flexed, and then once again, wherever you want to go. So maybe the left leg stays on the mat, maybe it lifts into the air. If it lifts into the air, hold on to something. Maybe clasping the hands behind the thighs, maybe taking the yoga pants or pants that you're wearing into the hands on the sides of the thighs. The left leg can extend up. And just breathe into this. And notice, do you have more space than you normally do? If the answer is no, that's totally fine. If the answer is yes, maybe it's because we did fire log. Maybe that opened you up, even if you were doing modifications for fire log. And then in a breath or two, float the left leg back down to the ground. Uncross the right leg. Do a couple hip rocks. If you are in pigeon, go ahead and come out back to table. And you can wag the tail, or you can do a couple cat-cows as a little transition between sides. If you're on your back, come back to center, cross the left leg over, and then just listen to your body to go into this pose wherever you feel like you need to. And if you're doing pigeon, one thing to think about now that you have your left leg forward, maybe trying to keep the left hip back. So pulling the left hip back into the stretch a little bit so that the hips are square. Nice. So figure 4 or pigeon, just enjoying this time. Maybe just noticing if you have a little extra space in that left hip. Maybe the answer is yes, maybe the answer is no, maybe the answer is I don't know because I don't remember the last time I did figure 4. Breathing in what you want more of. Breathing out to let go of what you no longer need. Gently let the right leg float back down. If you're in pigeon, come back to table and then transition to joining us onto your back. And then if you're on your back, let's bring the knees into the chest and maybe taking the knees a little bit wider so that maybe you can pull the knees a little bit closer to your body so that your tailbone kind of lifts off the mat. That's what we're going for before we rock side to side, so that maybe the rocking is more in the mid back than the low back. So getting a little massage from our mat. And then once you've gone back and forth a couple times, go ahead and let the knees drift a little bit away from the body so that the tailbone and the low back, like behind the hips, are really solid on the mat. And for me, that's like the full extent of my arms, and then rock side to side. And just notice the difference between the two and where you feel it. And then eventually we're going to rock all the way over onto our right side. And then it's your choice how you do this. I like to extend my arms so my head has somewhere to lie. We're going to take the left foot in the left hand, and we're going to pull the heel towards the bottom. And then you can choose to keep the right leg bent for a little bit more stability, or you can extend it down the mat. So we're doing a quad stretch. So then try to take the knee closer together, the knees closer together. So this left knee will descend towards the earth as much as possible. And then once again, just getting into the quad. So if you already feel it in your quad, ignore the next cues. But if you need more, try to scoot that knee back as you pull the heel into the bum. And then gently, gently release. You can bend the knees. You can untuck the arm underneath your head and rock over to the other side. Twist so computer people can see me. So then extend your left hand. Take your right hand to your right ankle. Pull that heel into the bum. Let that knee come down towards the earth. And then if you don't feel it in your quad yet, then try to move the knee back towards the bum as the heel continues to pull in towards the ankle. So hopefully at some point you feel this. So this is like the quad stretch that you do while you're standing, right? But that takes a lot of balance unless you're holding something. And if this doesn't work for you, that's okay. No worries. And then gently let go. Bend the knees, maybe untuck that arm, and shift back to your back. Knees into the chest. Rocking side to side. You can choose, are you pulling your knees further in to get up higher on your back? Are you letting your knees drift away from the body to get lower into the back? Eventually, come back to center. Right arm out to a T. Left hand takes the knees over to the left. Keep the right shoulder grounded. Deep breaths. Inhaling what you need more of. Exhaling what you no longer When you're ready, engage the core and bring the knees back to center. You can do any little movements that you want. And then eventually left arm out to a T. Right hand guides the knees over to the right. Taking those deep breaths. Two more deep breaths in this pose. And then engage the core, bring yourself back to center. Maybe plant the feet, make sure that your spine is in line with itself. And then a little bit of yogi playtime. So maybe a happy baby, maybe a bridge. If you practice plow or shoulder stand, that could also be an option right now. Or you can repeat something we've already done. You can do a little bit of core work. If you choose something with sides, I'll let you know in about a minute that you need to switch. So if you're doing something with sides, go ahead and switch. If you are not, you can transition to something different. You can also put your legs up the imaginary wall. You can do fish pose. If you know what that is, you can circle the hips. You can circle the ankles and wrists. And then go ahead and bring yourself down or back or to final relaxation, allowing the hips to relax so that the feet fall out to the sides. You can also opt to bring the feet together and the knees wide. For Supta Baddha Konasana, Shavasana. Take a few more deep inhales. You might even bring the hands. I like to have them on the side of my belly so my elbows are grounded, so that you can feel your breath even more through your hands. Take a couple more deep inhales. asking the universe for what you need more of, and exhales, letting go of what you no longer need. Those things that are blocking the way for what you need more of. Inhaling, imagining whatever it is, patience, abundance, love, understanding, actually flowing into your body. And then exhaling, letting go, whether it's grudges or past hurts or stubbornness or ego, letting that go in the exhale. And then go ahead and allow the arms to go back out to the traditional Shavasana placement. Let the breath come and go as it wishes. Try to draw inward. So maybe closing the eyes to reduce that sensory input. Eventually I'll stop talking and then you will have less auditory sensory input. Trying to draw in and away from the senses. And be with that inner self that we all have, that light within. And settle there for the next few minutes. Gently and slowly begin to awaken the body. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. Maybe stretching the arms overhead like you're waking up in the morning. Eventually bending the knees, planting the feet. You can press into the feet to lift the hips just slightly to elongate the spine, and then bring the knees into the chest. Last chance to rock side to side, massaging out the back. And then either rocking over onto one side and pushing yourself up, or rocking forward and back to come up to a seated position. Before we end, let's just take a last little motion with our body. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, lean towards the right. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, center, twist to the right. Inhale, center, twist to the left. Inhale, center, press the palms together and bring the hands down to heart center. And then maybe today, let's do a little mudra. So keeping the thumbs and pinky fingers together, opening the rest of the fingers. This is like a lotus flower. And they say that a lotus flower sits in the cave of our heart and holds that light within. So just thinking about our light within being encapsulated by this beautiful lotus flower that can grow anywhere. And then maybe pressing those fingers back together, not snuffing out our light, but just kind of hiding it the way it hides within us, unless we choose to shine it out. The light within me sees and honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. So for glutes, I would highly suggest getting something like a tennis ball, or I don't know, Leslie, if you have that pink ball, I think you've shown that to me. Or you can use the soft melt ball too, and just like sticking it under your bum and kind of rolling out. And then the same thing, Sharon, for the shoulders, I would use tennis balls or melt balls. You can use the hard melt balls if you have them. And I put them like on my shoulders. Oh, I almost knocked over my leg. I put them on my shoulders like right here, and then I do a bridge. So it kind of presses my shoulders into the balls. And those spots are just harder to get to, so we kind of touched on them, but I wanted to give you options to get deeper into those spots.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good week.
You too.
Perfect, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.